Imagine a night so quiet the air feels like it's hiding ancient secrets, tucked away in every shadow, every sliver of light slipping behind the curtain. It's late, but this hour isn't just the gap between yesterday and tomorrow. It's unguarded territory, a piece of time where almost no one truly dares to step inside. And maybe you don't even realize it, but something is happening right now. An invisible heist, a slow siphoning of your own power. As if drop by drop, your midnight is being drained without you noticing that it's the greatest treasure you have. You can feel it, even if you don't want to admit it. A subtle discomfort, a tiredness that isn't just physical, but a soft ache for yourself that has no name. Aleister Crowley once said, "Magic is the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will." But who still keeps will after midnight? Who remembers how to direct their own magic when the hours slip through screens, feeds, messages, pretending to be company but feeding only silence? Every time the clock ticks forward and the rest of the world fades, a chance is born to rewrite. It's as if the night were an open vault, ready to hold everything the daylight doesn't allow you to grow. But every notification buzzing in your hand is like a little henchman, paid to guard that vault, stop the heist, lock the door. You give in, tell yourself it's nothing. Just one more video, just one more scroll. But that nothing is a quiet blow, a carefully planned theft that strips your mind of what's most alive, the fertile silence where the new is born. If someone looked at you now, they'd see nothing unusual. You look calm, lying there, staring at a screen. But inside, something stirs. There's a part of you that knows it's being betrayed, a part that feels anger but doesn't scream. Because this crime is silent, like jewels stolen in the middle of the night. And you are the victim, the thief, and the treasure all at once. Tarantino understood the power of a detail. A cup of coffee on a bar table can become an explosion. A forgotten suitcase can hold a destiny. A dance in a dark bar can tear the whole script apart. That's what this night is. A plot made of ordinary gestures that, if you dare to interrupt them, can spark a fire that changes everything. A psychic line of blood that, once crossed, kills the old self that would rather stay distracted and awakens the new, hungry for a script that hasn't yet been written. Maybe you've promised yourself so many times that you'd start tomorrow, that you'd go to bed earlier, that you'd take better care of yourself. But that promise gets lost in the algorithm. And at night, no one's there to guard the guard. It's just you, alone, holding a power you pretend not to have. Tonight, right here, it's not about cold discipline. It's about remembering, about listening again to what's been calling you from deep inside your chest, like an echo that never really left. I'm not here to point fingers, to make you feel guilt. I'm here to remind you that inside this quiet hour, a ritual waits for someone brave enough not to run from it. Maybe it won't be easy. Maybe it'll sting a little, scrape you from the inside, show you truths you've buried under your pillow. But if there's one night that can give your power back, it's this one. And if there's such a thing as a perfect crime, it's this: stealing back what's already yours. Cross that line. Even if it's slow, even if you're afraid of what you'll find on the other side, because no one crosses a whole midnight unchanged. Anyone who dares to peek inside the vault of their own night never comes back the same. And when you open your eyes again, no matter how the world still looks the same, something inside you will already be gone. The fear of not owning your own story. There's a market no one sees, but it runs every night, right when the city closes its eyes. A black market that doesn't sell gold or weapons or forbidden secrets, but deals in something far more precious: your awake presence. While you think you're just relaxing, giving your tired mind a break, this market thrives. It swallows your energy in trades so subtle you barely notice you're paying. You pay with minutes that turn into hours. You pay with the spark that could ignite ideas, but flickers out under the blue light's glow. Picture for a moment what happens inside your mind while your finger slides across that screen on autopilot. Every scroll lights up a pixel inside you, but it dims something else. It dims the fire of deep curiosity. It snuffs out the spark that could shape scattered thoughts into creations that never existed before. It's a quiet trafficking of dreams, silent, but it leaves marks on the body. A tiredness that sleep can't fix, a soft fog that settles behind your eyes, a hidden guilt that waits for you in the morning. Hermes, the messenger who crossed worlds, always warned, everything is an exchange. Nothing is given without something in return. With every wasted midnight, an invisible currency is circulating. Your living imagination, your power to imagine and shape what does not yet exist. That's the real payment. You think you've only lost some sleep, but what's really lost is your ability to reinvent yourself while the world sleeps. Neuroscience puts it coldly. What the old initiates always knew in silence. When blue light fills your eyes, your pineal gland gets confused, postpones dreams that could have been doorways. Melatonin is traded for quick hits of dopamine, sold in short videos, endless feeds, notifications tapping at your skin like promises of importance. But there's no real importance there, just a cheap fix that feeds platforms starving for pieces of your mind. Maybe you think that's too dramatic. Maybe you tell yourself it's just entertainment, that everyone does it, that there's nothing wrong with escaping for a while after heavy days. But ask yourself, escaping to where? And from what? Into a hallway with no exit, where every door opens to another screen, another image, another noise. And deep down, you know there's something inside you that's begging for a different night. A midnight that's no longer this market of leftovers, but a secret lab where your mind can grow wild again, fertile enough to surprise your own body with an idea that lives until sunrise. If there's still any doubt left, rest your hand on your chest right now. Feel the weight left behind by all those nights. Feel how much imagination you've handed over for almost nothing. This silent debt builds up, but it doesn't have to be forever, because what you pay can be taken back. The black market of your nights never closes, but inside you lives the only thief who can break that contract, the same one who wakes up just as the rest of the world drifts off to sleep. There's a point in the night when everything shifts in density, but few ever notice it. It's that hour when the streetlights truly go out, when the last car hums by far in the distance, when even the soft noises of the house fall silent. It's in that moment, one you can't mark exactly on a clock, when reality loosens its grip just enough. What we call midnight isn't just a time. It's a crack, a fold where what you believe about yourself can dissolve for a few minutes. And if you dare to cross it, what returns is never quite the same. Many say success starts at 6 in the morning, but few realize that the deep night is the womb where that new version of you is conceived. It's there, in that hush, that the unconscious, smothered all day by noise, lifts its head, whispers memories, stirs images you thought were buried for good. It's there that the script can be rewritten, not as a neat promise, but as a raw, messy, unfinished draft that belongs to you alone. In Tarantino's films, nothing ever explodes out of nowhere. There's always a detail, a thin thread nobody notices, a glance carrying the tension of something about to turn the whole story upside down. Midnight is that detail in your own plot. It's the twist point almost everyone wastes, because it's easier to stay half awake than to face what stirs behind the mind's door. But those who feel it know. There's a different vibration in this territory. The Kabbalion speaks of the principle of vibration. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. Even what looks perfectly still is quietly shifting. At midnight, your mind hums at a frequency the day can't reach. It's that point where alpha and theta waves overlap, where the hypnagogic state cracks open passages between the conscious and the unconscious. It's a portal that doesn't need a password, but it demands silence, presence, and the courage not to run. Maybe you've tasted this without giving it a name, an idea that landed out of nowhere, a chill down your spine in the darkness, a memory so vivid it felt like a scene from a lucid dream. And what did you do? Maybe you drowned that spark in your phone's glow, in the scroll that seems harmless, but kills any seed still damp and new. Maybe you promised yourself, I'll think about this tomorrow. But tomorrow is another script, another page, another noisy day that devours what can only be born when everything else is asleep. The truth is, if you don't claim this threshold, something else will. The algorithm will. Your anxiety will. The leftover noise from the day will. This crack never stays empty. Either you write in it, or something else writes for you. And that's how whole stories get recycled night after night, while no one even realizes it could have turned out differently. So breathe. If you can, breathe right now. Feel the night air filling your chest, even if it's not quite midnight yet. Picture that point where the day ends but something inside you starts. It's fragile, silent, yet it's the most fertile space in the world. A threshold that separates those who replay yesterday from those who, secretly, dare to be reborn in the very minute when everything else seems dead. There's a paradox that hovers over every deep night. The uncomfortable idea that stopping is, in truth, the deepest form of action. Crowley, misunderstood by so many, knew this when he said that suspending the ordinary flow is raw magic in its purest shape. It's not noise that casts the spell. It's the silence that clears a path for the unseen to show itself. For anyone living the routine of doing, producing, proving, this feels foreign. But that's exactly where the hidden power of the night lives. Think about how many times you've tried to stuff your midnight with tasks, shows, mindless conversations, anything not to feel that approaching emptiness. It's almost an animal instinct, fear of sitting alone with yourself. Fear of hearing the echo of what you've tucked away behind your ribs. But that echo is a portal, not a threat. Inside it lives the piece of your mind that still remembers who you are when you're not distracted. Neuroscience backs up what magicians always sensed. When the body truly quiets down, when the light finally goes out, the pineal wakes up. Microdoses of DMT spark like hidden flares, doorways between layers you almost never visit when you're fully awake. Jung would call this crossing into the unconscious, a plunge into the symbols that shape you without asking your permission. It's like stepping into a maze where every wall holds a fragment of the answer you spend your life hunting for outside. Tarantino would show this without a single word. Maybe a long, quiet scene where nothing seems to happen, but the audience knows something is about to blow. That's exactly what it's like when you lie down, eyes closed, no stimulation, mind awake. It's as if a magnetic field forms around your body, shielding what's fragile, poking what's fake, letting surface what the day always hides. 33 minutes of nothing. So simple it's frightening, so powerful that few can bear it. At first, restlessness creeps in, the urge to move, to check your phone, to get up just to make sure the world out there is still spinning. But the world doesn't matter in that moment. The world is you, lying still, breathing inside your own mystery. And that's when something clicks into place. Not a clear answer, not a step-by-step guide. Just the feeling that a hidden gear is turning behind the curtain. A quiet engine that hums only when you finally stop trying to control it. Anyone who's felt this knows it's not wasted time. It's hidden fertility. It's a perfect crime. No one sees it. No one hears it. No one even suspects. But when the day returns, something has settled itself in silence. You wake up without knowing exactly why, but you carry in your chest a subtle clue. An open space. Proof that even by doing nothing, you've already started to change everything. Every heist story starts with an unnoticed detail. A dark corner, a half-open door, a gesture so small it slips right past anyone who doesn't understand the value of what's hidden inside. That's what midnight is. A house that looks empty at first glance but is packed with hidden jewels, locked vaults, secrets no one ever really thought to guard. Because almost no one believes the night has an owner. But it does. And the owner is the one who dares to plan the perfect crime at exactly the right moment. The first act is always the watchful eye. You have to see where your energy leaks out. It might be an app, a website, an open tab that looks harmless. It might be that same looping thought that drips back every night like a leaky faucet hitting the same spot. This recognition is subtle. It's not about judging yourself, but about seeing. Seeing without flinching, without lying to yourself with easy excuses. The moment you see the leak, you've already started to close the first door of the vault. Then comes the riskiest move, the sabotage. Every perfect crime has a point of no return. That second when the thief kills the lights, cuts the alarm, breaks what once seemed untouchable. In your night, this might be a move so ordinary it feels silly. Deleting the app that chains you up, stashing your phone in another room, locking your laptop in a drawer. The size doesn't matter. The symbolism does. Because the body understands action, not intention. When you move your body, the mind records it. Something has been breached. Tarantino would show this in close-up. The hand pressing the button, the soft click, the phone disappearing from the shot like a hidden weapon after the trigger's pulled. There's no loud music, no witnesses, but the atmosphere shifts. In that instant, the unconscious wakes up. It knows this isn't vague willpower anymore. It's a real heist, a part of you refusing to keep obeying, tearing a page from the script for good. Finally, the act that guarantees your escape, changing the scene. It's the tiny shift that changes everything. Sleep somewhere unexpected, lie on the floor, switch rooms, change the smell in the air, the direction your head faces, the side your body rests on. All of it tells your brain, this night is not the same. It's not childish magic. It's primal neuroscience. The brain, that wild animal, understands physical markers. It reads the room like a clue that something new must be filed away differently. When morning comes, no one will know what you did. There won't be fireworks, no applause. But inside you, something will be etched. The heist was real. The vault was cracked open. A piece of what you thought was lost came back into your hands. It doesn't matter if no one believes it. You'll know. And what the mind knows in silence, the body turns into ritual. A ritual that, night after night, keeps stealing back everything that was quietly taken while you weren't watching. Some scenes happen only once. They can't be replayed, can't be reviewed, can't ever be told in full. They hide in the gaps of the night when no one's watching, when your tired body stops making promises. But something inside you still breathes, asking for one final act. Tarantino loved these moments. The quiet close-up of a suitcase cracking open, the gun that fires without warning, the dance that looks innocent but carries the spark that sets everything off. The same thing lives inside you. A scene so brief, it slips by unnoticed, yet so deep it erases the rest of the film. When you decide this night won't follow the old script, something shifts in a way that almost feels brutal. There's no visible explosion, no real blood. But there's a symbolic wound that tears open inside. A part of you drops dead, smothered by the simple act of choosing not to repeat what once felt unbreakable. And the strangest thing is that no one sees it happen. You lie down, turn off the lights, breathe. On the outside, nothing's changed, but inside, the cut is done. Deep psychology sees this as an archetypal break. Jung would say it's a cut in the psyche, a crack in the old pattern that can't stand on its own anymore. The human mind feeds on coherence, and when a part of you witnesses a symbolic ending, it can't keep spinning the same cycle without brewing discomfort, guilt, unrest. It's like trying to rewind a tape that's already been burned. The past can't glue itself to the present the same way ever again. Maybe right now you feel a slight chill in your stomach, a tiny resistance you can't quite name. That's normal. The old script fights not to die. But here's the truth. It's already dead the moment you dare to stage your own scene without an audience. That quiet courage creates cracks that never fully close. The feed that once felt safe becomes an empty echo. The notification that once felt like a spark turns into distant static. And the self that crawled through midnight begging for distraction bows in silence to the new script being written line by line in the dark. Maybe no one will clap. Maybe no one will ever know what you did tonight. But that's exactly the point. There doesn't need to be a witness for a revolution to exist. What truly changes doesn't want a spotlight. It wants space. And it's inside that space, guarded by silence, that the new grows without asking permission. Breathe if you can. Ask yourself gently, what scene is still waiting to be lived, so the rest of who you are has nowhere left to hide? And when the answer comes, even if it scares you, remember, it only shows itself to the one willing to cross the line no one else can see. And once you cross it, there's no way back. Everything is mind. Hermes etched that truth like a whispered password that few ever pause long enough to decode. But the part everyone forgets is this: The real mind doesn't bloom under daylight. What truly vibrates wakes up when the rest of the world sleeps, when the walls can't overhear, when even you can't hide what's stirring beneath your chest. The night is the grimoire no one knows how to open, but it's always been there, waiting for whoever has the courage to turn its pages without fearing to stain their fingers. Every thought you have at night is more than distraction or daydream. It's a small line carved into the invisible clay that shapes tomorrow. A spell cast with no candles, no incense, but with the full weight of what you truly want, even if you've never said it out loud. Because there, in the dark, there's no audience, no one to judge, no frame to stay inside. There's only the raw essence of what could be if you stopped surrendering to what's already been. The pineal isn't just a tiny gland hidden in some anatomy diagram you half remember from school. It's a silent scribe, an inner eye that records every intention like secrets carved into stone walls. When you quiet everything, when you dare to do nothing, when you let emptiness take shape, it's the pineal that writes down what remains. It turns a vague wish into something the body recognizes as true. It's not brute force, not willpower alone. It's infiltration. It's a delicate sabotage, an inner heist that leaves no fingerprints, but shifts what needs to shift. While the world demands discipline, checklists, hustle, you learn to listen to what no one ever taught you, that the script can't be forced. It has to be hacked, and the weak spot is always the same. That sliver of the night when everyone else is asleep, and almost no one dares to guard the vault. Once you understand this, you see there are no grand promises, no easy formulas, just one quiet act, opening the invisible grimoire hidden in the night and writing, line by line, what no one else can write for you. And that act, so silent, so intimate, so impossible to share, is the perfect heist, stealing your future back into your own hands. Tomorrow, the world will wake up the same. The street noise, the alarms, the endless feeds spinning. But the one who dared to steal a whole night back for themselves wakes up different, even if no one notices. Because whoever crosses that line never returns the same, and whoever leaves behind what can't be written anymore wakes up holding a grimoire no one else will ever be able to close. And that's enough for the new, even in silence, to know it has finally found the right darkness to be born. If this journey echoed in your spirit, leave a quiet sign in the comments. A note not for the world, but for your own soul. To keep moving forward on this path of remembering and waking up, we invite you to subscribe to this channel and like this video. And remember, it's not about what you want. It's about who you are.